defensive rating, #1 in defensive field goal percentage. Big challenge tonight for Tennessee in front of a juiced-up crowd here at Rocky Top. And South Carolina wins the tip. Kierra Fletcher controls.
Tennessee starting in a man-to-man defense. And you see all of the attention that they're going to give to Aliyah Boston right now. Sandwich front and back.
Here's Fletcher on the drive. Stops, kicks, Zia Cooke traveled, and South Carolina turns it over. Starting 5, Jordan Walker, Jordan Horston, Tess Darby, who's played really well over the last few games. Rickea Jackson and Karoline Striplin round out the starting lineup.
South Carolina starting out in their man-to-man, which is their bread and butter D.
Jackson was able to shove away Saxton, got away with it and finished. Fletcher trying to get it into Boston. Boston is used to this sandwiching defense. It has happened with remarkable consistency. She gets a touch here, and that's why you sandwich her. Aliyah Boston, last year's Player of the Year. Seeing double and triple teams regularly as Striplin leaves it short on a 3. Here's Beal. Finds Boston. Boston flips it in. Pass might have been intended for Cooke on the back cut, but Boston was there. So back-to-back buckets for Aliyah Boston. Horston got that one to drop.
She read the defense really well, rejecting the on-ball screen and getting a great look at the basket.
Jordan Horston coming off 19 in Sunday's win against Auburn. Tennessee started this season 7-6. They're 13-3 since as Beal gets the offensive rebound and puts it home.
49%. 49% of South Carolina's misses they go and get. A missed shot for them is almost like an assist.
I mean, that is such a preposterous number. You just don't ever see that kind of offensive rebounding percentage. As Walker spins into 2. Guarded by Horston. Fletcher flashes and hits from the free throw line. This last season, due to injury, over 1,000 points in her career at Georgia Tech. Horston able to shovel it in with the right hand. 4 points early on from Jordan Horston. We just get the feeling if Tennessee is going to be in it tonight, they're going to need a lot from Jackson and a lot from Horston.
Yeah, without question. I think each player is going to need to go for about 20 points.
Beal can't knock down the 3. Nice job on the box out from Jackson. Jackson dashing into the paint, can't spin it in, but gets the whistle.
Well, we told you about how hot Rickea Jackson has been lately, her last 4 games, second leading scorer in the SEC. And I asked her today at practice, why have you been so hot? She said, I'm getting to my spots on the floor, and my teammates are trusting me. Remember, she's new to this team. They're trying to learn her. She's trying to learn them. And when I said, well, what are those spots that you're getting to that you're so good? She took a breath and with a totally straight face said, everywhere on the court. She really believes in herself, but she did say the mid-range, about 15 foot, is her sweet spot.
Mississippi State transfer. And Holly brings up an interesting point, Rebecca, that I know is something that's been a focus for you, and it's the teams that had a lot of transfers as Beal misfires on another 3. Saxton, a strong rebound and putback. Teams that had a lot of transfers, especially at key positions, meaning players that are being relied upon, you thought it might take them into February and maybe even March to really find their groove, and we're seeing that with some teams.
Yeah, we're seeing that certainly with Maryland. I think we're seeing it with this Tennessee group, Texas as well. Louisville feels like they're finding their groove.
Hollingshed off the bench, knocks down a jumper. Congratulations, Holly. Jackson leads in and banks it home. Rickea Jackson. That's where all the feet are for Tennessee. Amir gets a free lane that time. Cardoso couldn't finish it. And the rebound hugged by Hollingshed.
Right now, Tennessee and Kelly Harper have to be thrilled with the way this is playing out. They're shooting the ball well. They're doing a reasonable job on the defensive glass.
Oh, what a finish. A little dip from Jordan Horston. And on the other end, a strip from Powell. Here's Jackson with Powell. Jackson goes in strong.
Incredibly high percentage. Right now, Tennessee doing that, 54%.
And you talked about Jackson, 6 points for each of them in this first quarter. As Jackson hits the second. A 7-0 Tennessee run. Here's a me here. Bree Hall giving space. Hall flips it up. Can't get the roll. Rebound batted around. Ends up in the arms of Puckett. Nice look inside. Look at the time.
Yeah.
Instead of taking the final shot, South Carolina gets a crack here. 3 seconds left in the quarter. Into Boston. Boston can't finish it, and that'll do it for the first. Tennessee could not be more delighted. And how is South Carolina feeling about that? Let's check in with Holly Rowe.
You know, Dawn Staley was very calm, very composed, wasn't really yelling at her team. They've been in this situation before. The target is on their back. She really just talked to them about got to get more than one opportunity, more second chance points, offensive rebounding, and then matching up in transition against the Lady Vols.
Johnson speeds inside, finishes through the contact, plus the foul. Now, in case you're wondering, wow, South Carolina's undefeated. How many times this season have they trailed at the end of the first quarter? 5 times. Obviously, we know what happened the previous 4 times.
and a team that has some seasoned veterans who have not only been able to win games, but win some close games on the road.
Yeah. A national championship last year, undefeated thus far this season. That was the first Tennessee turnover, a real key for Kelly Harper as Cardoso lays it in at 6'7", not much you can do with that.
Yeah, Dawn Staley is like, all right, I don't care that I don't have any three-point shooters on there. I'll just go big and then bigger.
Yeah.
And if we can't get the ball into the post, we'll just get the offensive rebound on the miss.
And I loved her line about Cardoso saying she's our separator. Nobody else can bring anybody off the bench who can impact a game like she does. Nice little floater there from Striplin.
And the play was completely created by dribble penetration from Jordan Horston. Nice dump pass.
Tennessee with 18 of their 21 points coming in the paint. Here's Johnson. No. Rebound Jackson. Jackson looking to push for Tennessee. Jackson accelerates. Couldn't spin it in, but gets the whistle. She has such a controlled pace about her in transition. It's going to be the 5th and 6th free throw attempts for Jackson. Eats candy and makes TikToks before each game.
I wonder if she makes TikToks about eating candy. Maybe.
Perhaps. Beal, what a little left-handed side dribble.
Her size and strength to kind of force her way in.
How about Brea Beal as a pro prospect, Rebecca?
I really like her. She's 6'1". She's got great size and strength. So defensively, you know she can defend just about anybody and switch on to multiple positions. Her offensive game has to evolve, but has done that in her career, throughout her career at South Carolina.
And her three-point shooting this season tonight, notwithstanding, has improved a lot, shooting at 40% from 3 this season. 0 for 3 thus far tonight. But a tenacious defender, really mature young woman as well, who has a terrific competitive grit about her.
This one's here now, post defense, just battling against Rickea Jackson.
The 3 is good, Jordan Walker. Meanwhile, on this end, South Carolina has missed 14 of its last 16 shots. Leaning in, Zia Cooke drops it in as Walker tried to draw the offensive foul, but could not. Here's Horston. Horston on the attack. Can't bank it in. Got another good look. Hollingshed has made her mark on the offensive glass. Walker leaves it short, and that time Cardoso controls it for South Carolina. I know you felt like Hollingshed was going to have to be a major player tonight. So far, she has been.
Yeah, she's used her length well and her size.
Zia Cooke reigns in a three. 38% on the season, 35% in her career. Darby sidesteps and leaves it way short. Out of bounds. Well, Kelsey, we cannot wait to check that out at halftime. The top 16 reveal. Been a good game thus far. Tennessee a 5-point lead. South Carolina's really struggled shooting the basketball. Cooke connects. 2 big threes in this first half. Horston misfires there. 3 of 10 from the floor now. Wow. Nice hands from Zia Cooke. Cooke all the way in. Can't bank it in. Cardoso, no. And a whistle. It's going to stay here. Loose ball foul against Tennessee. It's on Rickea Jackson.
Tennessee's done a pretty good job most of this game, even when they can't corral the defensive board, trying to tip it and keep it alive to a teammate.
So 2 fouls on Jackson, who is going to check out for Tennessee. Obviously, Jackson, an essential player to the Lady Vols, and you wonder if she'll be done for the remainder of the half. Cooke has the last 8 for South Carolina. Brea Beal. Too strong, long board. Beal gets it back. Zia Cooke. No. Rebound. Snared inside. Fletcher couldn't finish it. Cardoso will.
Right there, Ryan. That's
Yeah.
South Carolina basketball.
A 10-0 South Carolina run. They had about 4 offensive boards on that possession. And Tennessee had mostly done a great job keeping them off the glass prior to that trip down when you think about the way South Carolina normally dominates the offensive glass.
South Carolina's size and their depth has a cumulative wear-down effect on you.
And a turnover from Horston. Here comes Cooke, 3-on-2. Cooke weaves, can't finish. Beal, 10. And if you're Tennessee, you're hoping you can get to halftime without things getting away from you with Jackson on the bench. Horston, boy, Horston has been just a little too giddy on some of these open attempts.
Yeah, the last one, she saw Aliyah Boston out of the corner of her eye.
Boston, great look. Fletcher connects on a 3. Powell, shifty. Powell couldn't sneak it in around Beal, and at last hit South Carolina 8 to shoot here for the Lady Vols.
And that's the key. It has to be around Beal.
And that time, the foul's called against Horston. If you like the sound of whistles, that was the sequence for you. Fletcher, 2-for-1 opportunity for South Carolina. Boston can't finish it. Beal, another offensive rebound. Beal couldn't finish it. Gets fouled.
Seen some really good rebounding from the guard spot.
Beal averages 4 boards per game. You know, one of the things she talked to us about earlier today at shoot-around was how she's feeling the weight of her career coming to an end, and it has almost focused her and them as a group, because there's a pride of, hey, I want to end my collegiate career a certain way. I want to end it the right way. So she feels really locked in. Another offensive rebound, and she lays it in off the missed free throw.
Especially when you're a senior, everything just feels a little bit different because you know it's your last time around.
A 17-0 South Carolina run. And they have taken advantage on the back half of this run with Rickea Jackson on the bench. Striplin's 3 is good, and wow, did Tennessee need that. Zia Cooke nearly banks it in from half court. That'll do it for the first half. That Striplin 3 ends a 17-0 South Carolina run. But a big-time second quarter from the reigning.
Yeah, that's the hard thing. And right now, Tennessee in a zone defense, which is going to be a challenge as well. But certainly they were playing Beal almost like a zone in that first half, and then it's hard to box out.
Saxton gets the roll. Here's Walker into the paint, stops, did not have an angle. Another chance here, Horston. Horston, who had a great first, struggled in the second. Horston gets blocked by Boston, 1 to shoot. Walker has to get it in, and it's a 5-second violation as Tennessee turns it over. Beal swivels and gets fouled. Talk about wanting to get out and run. When South Carolina gets to the line, you can't get out and run against them. Right. Beal hits the first. Do you like the emojis on sticks?
Anything on a stick, right?
Yeah. 21-3. South Carolina run dating back to the end of that second quarter. Here's Horston. Spinning, leaning, and the fans and the emojis can sit. Fletcher. Over to Boston. She'll shoot and not hit. And Walker comes away with it for Tennessee. Darby nearly had it taken by Beal, but a foul is called. It's really hard not to pick up that fourth.
Yeah, it's so physical.
Jackson got tripped by Saxton, has seemed very much in control in the minutes she's been on the floor. Seen her have a command about her in transition. Seen her been able to assist her way to the line.
Yeah, Horston was 0 for 6 from the floor in that second quarter with a couple of turnovers.
Cardoso surrounded, did not matter. They get it into Jackson. One-on-one with Boston, had it poked by Cooke. Jackson can't hit. Walker got a paw on it, but no more. Fletcher stops on a dime and gets the whistle against Horston. Free throws for Fletcher. A big Monday women's college basketball
battle for Texas.
At the half with Charlie Cream, Brea and Kelsey.
Nothing that jumped out too much.
Yeah.
You know, Charlie Cream talked about, how fluid it is, and that's the part that's interesting is from the first reveal to the last, things change so dramatically.
Think about a performance like Colorado's tonight, which we heard our crew talking about, taking Stanford to a double overtime. Horston pull up, won't go. Cardoso secures it for South Carolina, now an 8-point lead for the Gamecocks. Zia Cooke gets it over to Hall. Cooke hit a couple of huge threes in the second quarter. She went on a personal 8-0 run after South Carolina had fallen behind by 10, and that is some beautiful handling from Zia Cooke. 10 points for Cooke. The lead is 10 for South Carolina, their largest of the game. Striplin, rainbow three, won't go. Horston over the back is called for the foul. And that will be number 3 on Horston.
High ball screen, and Horston tries to fight over. There's some contained defense, but not enough of it. Just a little hesitation there, in and out. Dribble, beautifully done.
For South Carolina this year. Fletcher, catch, fire, and hit from 3. People were quite kind. We had some good snacks. Shot clock down to 2. Nice hesitation there. Needed that bucket. Horston had gone cold for a while. In the corner, Zia Cooke lines it up and knocks it down.
South Carolina's done a really nice job of getting the ball to the middle of the floor and then finding that open shooter in the left corner.
12-2 South Carolina run. Although, truthfully, it's just felt like one long run since the end of the first quarter. They've outscored Tennessee 39-16 since trailing 19-10 after 1. Nice take there. Jackson on the reverse.
Great job to use the rim to save her from the shot blocker behind her.
Hall thought about it. Boston being double teamed. Boston wants it, gets the deep catch, And Jackson had to be careful with the 3 fouls. Boston knew it.
And really nice patience by the South Carolina guards to wait and work the ball around the floor so they could get their player of the year a touch.
First points for Boston since early in the first quarter. That's some report card.
I like this. All subjects.
Like, you have so many awards, we need to just give you one blanket trophy.
Yes.
Here's for being incredibly brilliant and awesome at everything.
I'll tell you what, Ryan, if I was getting double and triple teamed in the lane like this in college, I'm like, all right, let me get to where they have a wider lane in a defensive 3 seconds.
Get me to the W.
Yes.
Zia Cooke airballs it. Shot clock violation.
Teams leave her open, and today she certainly made them pay.
And South Carolina started 0 for 6, but they're 5 of 8 since. Whistle here, and both teams in the bonus at this point. Tennessee is now in a hole that can't be overcome. Now 10, still 3 minutes left of this third. Beal has been on the bench for an extended period in this third after picking up her 3rd foul. So too has Saxton. Cardoso can't hit. Brea Hall the rebound. So even with Cardoso pulled out, it's Brea Hall who comes up with an offensive board, the 17th for South Carolina.
It's just a mentality that South Carolina has. Every player getting to the offensive glass.
Fletcher spinning and hitting. Big game for Kierra Fletcher. 12 points now tonight. That's another part of this South Carolina team. They have so many ways to beat you. Hollingshed rattles out a 3. Zia Cooke swiftly up the floor. Into the corner. Here's Boston. She's fouled. She is absolutely the projected #1 pick in this year's draft. And was a McDonald's All-American back in 2019.
Her game over the course of the last 4 years, so dominant, and asked her a couple of days ago about, you know, this year and how much defensive attention she's gotten, and she said, well, I've learned patience.
Jordan Horston all the way home and reversed it wildly.
She's looking to draw the foul, but you have to go up with more control to get the foul.
Boston giving some space, says, I'll take that. 9 points for Aliyah Boston, 4 rebounds. That's a low number for her, but her teammates have cleaned up the glass plenty. Fletcher off and running. Kierra Fletcher dives in, finishes plus the foul. Kierra Fletcher having a huge night, and the South Carolina lead has reached 17. Scored over 1,000 points in her career there. Jackson couldn't reverse flick it in. Not many can. And that'll do it for the third. The reigning player of the year. South Carolina, 59-41 lead over Tennessee. They end the third on an 8-0 run. Hollingshed thought about taking it. Did not. Here's Striplin. Rumbling and gets denied by Boston. And Boston saying, wait a second, Striplin still had the ball when she went out of bounds, and Aliyah Boston's right. And the call is reversed. 4th rejection for Boston.
Goes with both hands in the air, does a good job not swiping down. Yeah, Striplin needed it, just let it go.
Yeah. You know, the other part about Boston defensively, Rebecca, it's not just she has size and shot blocking on the interior, but you watch her move, her activity defensively.
Yeah, that's one of the things that will certainly translate in the WNBA as well. She can switch out and contain guards on the perimeter.
Right. They're just 3 of 8 from downtown in this game. Hall, no. Batted around. Who's going to end up with it? It's Tennessee. Walker. Jackson, great, has he in the lane. Beautiful move from Jackson Tennessee trying to get a little something going here in this fourth. Boston can't pop it in. Jackson a chance. After that shot, they will go right to the South Carolina bench. You hope it's just a cramp.
She knocked, oh no, it was the left knee that was knee to knee.
You working, look like that right calf. With the hypervolt or Theragun. As Jackson floats it in, plus the foul and a chance for three for Jackson. As Aliyah Boston is getting worked on the South Carolina bench. Still tugging at that calf. Jackson misses the free throw. Hollingshed the offensive rebound. Striplin a three. She got it. Tennessee with some life. Third three of the night for Karoline Striplin. A 10-2 run from the Lady Vols, with Boston anchored to the bench right now. Zia Cooke, big shot from Zia. Tennessee, 3 for their first 15 this half, 4 of 5 since. There is Jackson, and again unstoppable. 10-point game. Tennessee needs a stop. Zia Cooke won't give it to him. Jackson fading away. Back iron, no. Follow, yes, from Darby. Here's Brea Beal off to Cooke. Gets blocked by Jackson. And at last touch South Carolina. It's going to be Tennessee basketball. Ten-point game. Walker with Horston back in. Here's Hollingshed facing up and hitting. Terrific atmosphere in Knoxville. Beal leans in and finishes. Brea Beal on time for South Carolina. A double-double for Beal, 11 points, a season-high 10 rebounds. Walker gets back, and she will shoot 2. Raven Johnson, Kamilla Cardoso, who has 14 rebounds. Aliyah Boston, Brea Beal. Walker gets the second. Boston pedaling through. Bustling her way in. Might have gotten away with a travel there. Gets the offensive rebound, though, and another chance here for South Carolina. Offensive rebounds for the Gamecocks. They had 31 last season against Tennessee, and the C's part for Zia Cooke.
How many times has South Carolina run that middle on ball screen for Zia Cooke to go to her strong right hand, and it continues to be fruitful?
It started in the second quarter after Tennessee had built a 9-point lead. Zia went on a personal 8-0 run. And it's continued in the second half where Cooke has scored 11. And one of the things Holly talked about in the open is a rough offensive start doesn't derail Zia Cooke anymore. She's playing such strong defense. Her passing. Dawn Staley talked to us about that before the game. How it used to be, hey, if she wasn't hitting shots, there wasn't necessarily the value of her on the floor. And she would get down as well. Different story with senior Zia Cooke. Tennessee coughs it up. Held ball. Possession arrow remains with the Lady Vols. Saxton will come in for Beal. So you have Saxton, Boston, and Cardoso. Just a massive lineup. And Boston showing off the size, the length, and the athleticism with that steal.
High middle ball screen, anyone?
Boston Left alone. South Carolina can run more clock. Johnson wheeling, taking, and hitting. That's one of the things Dawn Staley talked to us about. She said how loose and confident she feels her team is after winning a national championship last year, feeling relief as a result of that, being able to play more free, not worrying when they're behind in a tight game like this. And South Carolina puts another one in the left column. 73-60 the final at Tennessee. The Gamecocks improved to 28-0.